It's time to sit back, relax, and listen to Conversations with Joan. Conversations with Joan will inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. And now, here's your host, Joan Herman.
Welcome to Conversations with Joan. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in. Conversations with Joan focuses on topics that are important to your life, from health and wellness to professional development to personal well-being. Changemakers join me to share their insights, tips, and strategies so you can thrive and live your best life now. Thank you for taking time for yourself, and thank you for letting us be a part of your life. Now, let's start talking. As one of the most recognizable names in health and wellness, Jillian Michaels was one of the first to show us how to take control of the metabolic machinery underlying our weight and health struggles. Now, she's using innovative science to conquer the myths, misunderstandings, and mayhem associated with aging. Jillian joins us today to discuss ways to reverse the effects of aging and maintain optimal health for life. Jillian is an 8-time New York Times bestselling author, a leading health and fitness expert, and a nutritionist and wellness entrepreneur. She is the author of the new book, The 6 Keys: Unlock Your Genetic Potential for Ageless Strength, Health, and Beauty. Welcome, Jillian. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Jillian, you've been transforming people's lives for years. What do you believe are the biggest mistakes we make when it comes to health and wellness?
Oh my God, there's
Start
so
the
many.
list.
I don't even know where to begin. Holy cow. Wow. I would say, look, first, diet is going to be the absolute most offensive, right? And these absurd fad diets, whether it's starvation, like pseudo-fasting diets, or it's keto, which throws the body into a literal physiological state of emergency, master cleanses, all ridiculous. Then you get into fitness, and I think the notion of more is better, harder is better. So, you take something perfectly beneficial like yoga, but you say, let's do it in 115-degree weather. Like that's a terrible idea.
Uh-huh.
And no, it doesn't detox the body because you don't detox through sweat. You detox through your kidney, your liver, your lungs. So I think that trend overall in fitness has become extremely bad. And people are trying to reverse the aging process from the outside in, which is ridiculous. So, they're shooting all kinds of stuff. And look, I don't judge it. By all, go ahead. But it's not going to make you younger. If anything, it's going to age you, right? Because we're looking at putting toxins into our system and how that's going to affect the 6 keys, right? These 6 body processes that determine how well we age. And so, that's something that needs to come from the inside out, right? With the proper nutrition, lifestyle management, environmental changes, and so on. So there's many. We could go on and on, but there's just a few.
Well, I was laughing listening to you because I've gotten to a point in my life that I've done everything that you just described, and I'm so tired of it. I remember saying to one of my friends, I have to get some of this weight off, and, I know cauliflower is healthy for me, but I was doing this diet that was telling you certain days of the week you could eat certain foods, and I'm like, but why can't I eat cauliflower on Tuesday? And I just got so tired.
I can't even tell you how ridiculous that is. But
it is,
yeah.
and I got so tired that I don't do anything because I'm tired of trying to figure it out. So what you're saying makes so much sense for us.
I'm so sorry. I get so mad. And in this book, I break down, right, keto, intermittent fasting, vegan, paleo, gluten-free, the blood type diet, avoiding nightshades, and there is zero science behind any of it, and conversely, there's science against it. However, when you take something like keto, they will pull 1 or 2 studies about, this diet in particular helps you reverse type 2 diabetes and helps to get you off PCOS medication for polycystic ovarian syndrome. Sure. Because you're eating 0 carbohydrates, which is going to burn fat faster, right? So you would think that would be a good thing. And you have no insulin going on. Your pancreas is barely releasing insulin because you're not eating any carbohydrates, so your blood sugar is very low. Now, this diet, on the other hand, which nobody is showing you when they talk about its benefits, is how it shortens our telomeres, how it's starving our cells. Literally, our macromolecules or cells are made up of protein, fat, and carbs, literally starving your cells. And it's got a ton of oxidative stress from all the calories, all the animal proteins, all the saturated fat, and the list goes on. So again, like all of these misconceptions really lead people down a path of being set up to fail and feeling discouraged when they do. So you can do all of the benefits, right? All the things these diets claim, whether it's reversing type 2 diabetes, getting off medication, improving fertility, getting to a healthy body weight, and on and on and on, with a common sense eating program and a common sense fitness regimen. Mm-hmm. And you get none of the bad stuff and all of the good stuff for years to come. But it's exactly the kind of stuff you're talking about that is the absolute most detrimental to our frame of mind and our overall health.
So, Jillian, instead of focusing on just one or two factors, like we've been talking about diet, you crafted a program that addresses 6 factors. What are the 6 factors, and how can people make each work for them?
Okay. So there's nothing in your genetics that tells you to age or die. So you got to say, well, then what the heck is happening, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I am getting older. So why is this happening? And why is it that some people look amazing into their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and so on, and other people do not, right? We'll leave it at that.
Right.
Well, we went to the top neuroscientists, and I say we because I very rarely work with a co-author. And for something like this, I worked with a guy named Myatt Murphy, who is the foremost expert in this space as an author, right? So he and I both went out to all the top neuroscientists, the top guys in the field studying the aging process. And there are what we call the 6 keys in my book, but they're really the 6 hallmarks or the 6 body processes responsible for how we're aging. So it's how we're adapting to stress, right? Stress is designed to make us stronger physically and emotionally. But when stress is out of control and stress is chronic and stress is mismanaged, it will literally kill you. It will break you down. Inflammation, right? This is another key. We think, inflammation, chronic inflammation is bad. Well, chronic inflammation is, but inflammation is actually a really good thing. Without it, we wouldn't survive the common cold. Inflammation's job is to go in there and fight off infection and rebuild and repair the body. So the problem here is that when these keys are getting out of whack, your inflammatory response remains on all the time, and it goes after healthy tissue, right? So it's like, I need to fight. I'm in a war. Who am I going to go after? But if you're not sick or you don't have an injury to rebuild or repair, it will go after healthy bone, healthy muscle, and so on. This is where you get things like rheumatoid arthritis, for example. Your body's literally turning on itself. Mm-hmm. Then you've got metabolism. And we often think of metabolism as, okay, well, my weight, right? This is what metabolism is. It's not what metabolism is. It is a function of metabolism. But metabolism is also responsible for a very important process in the body called autophagy. And what this is housekeeping. So how we eat, what we eat, when we eat, how much we eat helps to make this work, again, for us or against us. So this autophagy process is housekeeping. And this is where the body goes in and it cleans out the old and it rebuilds the new. It culls all the dead and senescent cells. It has time to focus on immunity, remodeling and repairing bone and muscle, and so on, collagen, and so on and so forth, right? But when we're eating too often, when we're eating too much, when we're eating the wrong things, this process doesn't get optimized. And in some cases, the body doesn't engage in it at all, and you've got a buildup of all this bad stuff, and bad things happen. Next one would be your epigenome. So we look at genes, right? And people, it's in the genes. It's in the genes. It's a foregone conclusion, one way or the other, which it absolutely is not. So, yes, your genetics may hold a certain blueprint, or they do, but what pieces of that blueprint get built in your body or not are controlled by your epigenome. So your epigenome is the little guy that will tell each and every cell what to do, what to become, and will tell your DNA what to express and what to choke off, right? Hence the reason whatever you might be genetically predisposed to, you can dramatically affect by the way you live your life. So I am genetically predisposed to being obese. Mm-hmm. If I ate too much, I would be heavy. I don't have a naturally fast metabolism. but the way I live my life has put me in a very healthy place at a very healthy body weight. So allowing your epigenome to work for you instead of against you is really important. And to give you an even better idea, when we say things like muscle has memory, that's literally your epigenome remembering and marking the body so that when you start to exercise again, your body rebuilds faster because it already knows how to do it. So it's actually easier to get back in shape than it is to get in shape for the first time ever. Then you've got telomeres, which are those little caps on the end of your DNA strands, right? They protect your chromosomes. Well, there are certain things that accelerate the shortening of your telomeres. When we lose our telomeres, our DNA is exposed, and all kinds of anarchy can occur in the body, and you start to get genetic abnormalities. This is bad. And so we want to make sure we're protecting our telomeres and keeping them as long and strong as we possibly can for years and years to come. So when our DNA goes to replicate itself, we're getting accurate replications and not misfires and chromosomes fusing that shouldn't be fused together, and so on. The sixth one are your macromolecules, and that's essentially your cells, the health of your cells, how they're communicating with each other, how they're duplicating, how well they're functioning. And your macromolecules, here's what's interesting about this. Think of the term macros or macronutrients. We know that as protein, fat, and carbs, right? Well, your macromolecules, your cells, are literally made up of protein, fat, carbs, and nucleic acids. So as you can probably already imagine, diets that strip out macronutrients are literally starving your cells. So there's a lot that we need to do to keep our macromolecules healthy, or not to overwhelm you, but there's a lot we can do, and all of that is outlined in the plan of the book. But right off the bat, that should tell you that something like keto is a very, very bad thing for the health of your cells, because you're truly starving them of the necessary macronutrients.
So, Jillian, if someone wanted to get started right now, what's a general rule of thumb that can keep all of these areas in balance and healthy?
Well, we've got 5 pathways, right? These 5 areas of our lives that we need to focus on. And while I would love to tell you, oh, here's one thing, right? Here's the one thing to focus on, it would be like saying, I want to write a symphony, but I only have the tuba. I mean, you can't do it, right? So the areas that we focus on in the book are, of course, proper nutrition. And that means no more fad diets, understanding the simple science of thermodynamics, calories in, calories out, and food quality, macronutrients, protein, fat, and carbs, micronutrients, the benefits of vitamins and minerals, how and when to eat them, and so on. Fitness, how to work out in the most effective ways without overwhelming yourself to get the best results. The mind-body connection is really important. And this is where you got to take into account that your state of mind, right, your overall mental well-being, and I'm not suggesting it's even possible to be happy all the time, but having that deeper sense of purpose and meaning and finding it in your life allows you to have a calmer and more fulfilled state of mind, and the effects of that on your physiology are tangible. So depression, we've seen studies on depression, it's shortening our telomeres at an accelerated pace, right? So how do we improve our state of mind? And it could be as simple as a 5-minute daily meditation. It could be as simple as completely clearing out your current peer group and getting more supportive people in your life. But it's something that simply cannot be negated. And this concept of neuroplasticity, the way that we think and feel, affects the physiology of our brain, your brain chemistry, the shape and size of parts of your brain. Well, we want to gear that for the better, right? Not for the worse. So we've got to look at that mind-body component. Environment is massive. And what I mean by environment is literally the physical world you're living in. So the air you're breathing, we breathe 11,000 liters of air a day. We want that air as clean as possible. How much sunlight are you getting, right? How much exposure to UV rays are you getting? And how do we mitigate that so that we get just the right amount, so we keep our vitamin D and so on, but none of the bad stuff? What are we cooking our food on and in so that we're removing plastics from our food? You store your food in plastic. It's leaching into the food. Those styrofoam coffee cups, so bad for us. Simple things that anybody can do that will have a massive impact, right? So that's environment. And then you've got lifestyle. And lifestyle really is stress management and making time for you. And it's everything from like getting the right amount of sleep to taking your vacations to even potentially getting a pet. I mean, and I know that sounds kind of trite and silly, but again, study after study after study is showing us that people with pets have a longer lifespan, have improved immunity, have better cognitive function. So it's really a program. It's a lifestyle that we have to tackle on a myriad of fronts. And you can take one step in each area, and it will make a massive difference. I'm not asking for people to go from crawling to sprinting. I just need them to have the information and take small steps forward over time, and that will add literally years of quality and quantity to your life. If you stopped doing keto tomorrow and started eating a balanced diet, we would add probably, the most recent study said 7 years to your life.
The book is The 6 Keys, Unlock Your Genetic Potential for Ageless Strength, Health, and Beauty by Jillian Michaels. If you'd like to get more information about the book or Jillian and her work, you can visit JillianMichaels.com. Jillian, in about 30 seconds or less, it's the new year. This is the time when people are making resolutions to overhaul their life.
Yeah.
What is one quick tip that you can give us to get the job done?
Well, the one quick tip would be get many quick tips. So, we always say, right, bring action to intention. But if that action is misinformed, it's like taking a wrecking ball to your life. So before you engage in any endeavor, whether it's starting a new business or getting on a healthy path, educate yourself with the information so that the actions you take are going to yield the most powerful and positive results. So like the diet, where some days you could eat cauliflower and some days you couldn't, bad information. So good information is key. Get informed, and then take those small, realistic steps, and over time, they'll equal really powerful results.
Jillian, thank you so much for joining us and for helping us live a healthy, balanced life.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
This is Conversations with Joan. Stay with us. We'll be right back.